So it's time to build another PC. This time around I just want to build a small form factor PC, even though this CoolerMaster Masterbox NR200 is probably among the bigger sized micro or mini ITX / micro DTX cases out there. I actually hope I can fit my DTX non-mini DTX board in here, because that is my plan, to harvest it from another computer, build a small form factor gaming PC that I can have in my living room with my RTX 3080 Top OC. So in this video we'll just do an unboxing of this case here, and I will also do a build video separate for this one here. Anyways, let's just have a look at around the box. On the sides here you do of course have more information about weight and so on. This is the non-P variant. I kind of wanted the P variant, but unfortunately not really that available in my country. They did have it on stock on Amazon, actually at quite a good deal. A little bit less expensive actually in this one here. But I live in Scandinavia and we have to buy it from Amazon in Germany. My experience from shipping or getting big things shipped from Amazon, sometimes they can arrive actually with slightly damaged packaging, and it's not always handled that well. And they don't tend to actually pack it inside a bigger case. So they will just probably ship it with its original packaging here. And also the P series does have a glass side panel and so on that could probably get damaged in shipping. And plus it will also take quite a long time for it actually to be shipped from Amazon to here. It's like around 3 to 5 days. So slow shipping. This one was in stock locally. I could get it the next day. So that's what I went for. I didn't really want to use the glass panel originally, but since I could get it with a glass panel and the riser cable for a little bit less than this one, it's a little bit better value to get the P model. But anyways, this is the non-P variant. You can see model number and everything there. Of course, have a look around the box here. We do have carrying handles if you want to carry this. And that's pretty much all the way around. So let's just get straight into this one here. Getting my little knife here and cut the case here open. And in here you can of course see the case. You get the black version or dark gray or whatever kind of color this is. You can also get it in white and many different other colors. But yeah, this is definitely more for my taste. So first off, we are met here with the instructions. And one nice thing about this case is not the smallest mini ITX case out there, but it is very modular and you can pretty much take it all apart. So you can fit very big graphics cards in there. Like I said, I hope I can fit my DTX motherboard in there, not my mini DTX. Should be able to just squeeze in there. And some people also use this from some micro ATX motherboard can fit in there. And you can have up to 3 slot graphics cards. And you can have like a radiator on the side and have fans in the bottom and in the top as well. And I believe you have mounting points for around 3 to 4 hard drives as well. And the overall construction is pretty decent. It's a low-end case, inexpensive case, so I think you get a lot for your money. And yeah, see the instructions here definitely goes into detail of how to completely disassemble this case. Don't really need to use any screwdrivers or anything to get inside the case, which is very nice. You can remove all the panels just by pulling them. And very modular, so you can use like a GPU if you want to mount it in the vertical orientation or horizontal excuse me, orientation. Although this one doesn't come with the riser cable, you need to supply that yourself. But because I have a big 2.7 slot graphics card, I am going to mount it in the more standard orientation so it can breathe a little bit better. Well, let's just get the case here out of its packaging. I love building computers, so yeah, I can't really wait to get into the build. Of course, on the top side of the case, we do have 2 USB 3.0, no USB Type-C unfortunately, but my current motherboard only supports USB 3.0, so that's fine for me. Power button with the LED around it, reset switch. You also have a multi-jack there, so for headphones and microphones as well. You have a mesh grill up here, but you cannot remove this mesh by itself. You have to remove the entire top panel. We'll try to do that in this video. And of course we have breathable side panels here on both sides. This one does, like I said, not come with the glass side panel. I'm not going to use that because it just chokes off the system. And I'm just going to put this inside a cabinet. And on the back side here, do have up to three slots for a graphics card or for other peripherals for that matter. And you can also mount the graphics card here, but this one, since it's the non-P variant, doesn't come pre-installed with the mounting kit for mounting a graphics card. In this orientation here, I believe you could probably squeeze a 2.5 slot in here, but you shouldn't really go above 2 slots if you want the card to breathe, especially not if you are using the glass side panel. This one is a little bit better, of course, but this one here, non-P variant, just come with a 92mm fan pre-installed on the back. You have a power jack here. Of course, this is an extender that goes into the PSU, which is actually supposed to be mounted inside or in the front of the case. Left side here, exactly the same as this is the right side, exactly the same as the left side we looked at before. Same kind of panel. Do have some kind of dust protection there underneath all the panels, which is kind of nice. Just a cheaper kind of dust protection, but still better than nothing. And of course, we do have the front side here, which I really like the look of this case, which was one of the things that drew me to it. And not only the price, we have a little bit of a CoolerMaster logo there, and the whole front panel is made of steel. Let's remove one of the side panels here. I believe you just need to pull. Oh, that was actually very easy. You need to pull from one of the edges there. And inside, like I said, do have some kind of a dust filter. Just the cheap stuff with a little magnetic tape there. It is enough to get some of the bigger dust, or keep some of the bigger dust out there. But of course, it is not enough to get some of the smaller dust out there. But you can always upgrade that in the future. And now we're inside. Of course, we do have a mounting bracket here for either just fans, or you can also just mount a radiator, or you can also mount a hard disk here. You cannot, of course, mount all of these at the same time. You can either mount a radiator, fans, or a hard drive and one fan. But again, you have a lot of options here. And only 2 screws. You can remove this bracket right here. So you do need a screwdriver to remove some of the brackets and panels, but that's a minor thing. You can remove this entire one, and you can use it or not use it, depending on what kind of build you are, of course, making. And inside, we do have a little bit of an accessory box here. Let's just remove that and remove that little clamp there, and as well as on the cables here. Let's remove that protector there. We have some anti-moisture gel, and let's remove those tabs. So what we have on inside here is, of course, USB 3 for the front I/O. We have a very nice, very easy to install front LEDs. Or you have the power LEDs, reset switch. But you can see it is in this nice package here. So you pretty much just need to plug it into your motherboard. And you also have for the HD audio in the front. Not really sure if my motherboard actually have that, but I never really use it on any of my motherboards, or cases rather. So I'm not really sure I'm going to use it. We do have a pre-mounted 92mm fan. I'm going to try it out. If it makes too much noise, I'll probably just end up upgrading this to a Noctua fan, or maybe just go fanless here on the back. I am not 100% sure yet. Of course, I need to spend a little time to actually set this up properly, where I want to place the fan. I want to have maybe some intake fans here on the front and some exhaust fan here at the bottom. I do not plan to run any kind of water cooling in this one. I just want to use air-cooled CPU for now, at least. So I want to have some air coming in here from the front, being blown out at the top. And you can also mount some fans on the bottom, but of course you are limited to the thickness of the graphics card. I have a 2.7 slot graphics card, so I could probably squeeze some small fans in there, but I'm not really sure it is needed, because you can see in the bottom side there is a lot of ventilation there, so the graphics card should be able to suck in a lot of air down here. Or at least I hope it will. Let's remove the top panel. See how easy that will be. And it should just pull up, from my knowledge. I think actually maybe I will remove the panel on the other side first, just to make sure they are not like stuck together and somehow. And removing this one is just as easy. Kind of impressed me a little bit how easy it is. Feels very sturdy on there, but very easy to remove. I like that definitely. And you have the same kind of dust filter on the inside here. It's a nice addition, and a lot of ventilations here on the back. Of course, the PSU normally will go here with the fan out here, so you can suck cold air into the PSU. But because I am going to mount a bigger motherboard to this one here, we'll probably go to around there, and down here a DTX motherboard. I will have to mount the power supply in the front of the case, so the fan will be on the inside, blowing air up. I am very curious to see how well that will actually work. And now we have the left panel off. One thing to note, of course, if you're using SFX-L power supply, you can use the top bracket there. Normal SFX power supply, which is what I'm going to use. Just use the bottom bracket there and 2 screws, of course, to remove the entire cage. Let's just actually remove that one, because I need to remove it anyways to be able to mount a PSU. And it is kind of mounted onto the frame here. This Velcro tab, so let's remove those as well. And this is of course the PSU mounting bracket, so you can install an SFX or SFX-L power supply. I believe you can also get a ATX power supply cage separately. Did see it on Amazon, was not in stock, so you should be able to maybe mount an ATX power supply in the front here and at the same time have a Mini ITX motherboard. And we do, like I said, have pre-installed Velcro tabs there. Very nice for cable organizing or organizing your cables. And let's see if we can actually get the top off now. I did feel like I have to pull it a little more than I would like to. Don't think it is held in place, but let's remove the front panel then and see if that actually will help. There is a little bit of a lip down here you can actually pull. So, and that was very easy to get apart. I believe this is just a steel front. I like it. Nice design, easy to remove. And on the front side here, we do have mounting points for 2 SSDs. So 2.5-inch SSDs. Or you could probably also just mount a hard drive. I'm going to try that at least in this video. I have a 2.5-inch hard drive I want to install in this case here. Cables here for the front I/O and for the headphone jack. But you do not have any kind of fan controller built into this case here. I'm going to mount my own fan controller. So I have this fan controller lying around, which has 1, 2, 3, like 8 fans. So I'm planning to mount this inside this case here. Other than that, we do have a little bit of a cable holes there to put some cable through. And you can also mount the PSU here on the front as well. Now let's see if we can actually remove the top panel. Did feel like almost I want to break something. I just need to use a little more force. It is on there a little tighter than the rest of the panels. Also have a little bit of a different like locking mechanism here compared to like the side panels. You can see it has just a little ball there, but this one has a much larger plastic tabs. A little bit of a strange design here on the top in my opinion, because you cannot just screw in fans or radiators or anything here up here. You need to use the proprietary screws or mounting points. There's some rubber gaskets here and you can kind of squeeze a little screw or a little tab in there to mount a fan. Nice system, but I would like to see maybe the ability to mount something on the top here and just have some kind of mesh on the top here, and you could kind of mount your fans to the case itself, so you don't have to use their proprietary mounting system. But it is a minor thing and shouldn't really cause any major problems. So you can see how easy it was actually getting in the case. We only like took out 4 screws to remove the caddy for the power supply and also the front mounting point there. And I believe it's pretty much the same at the bottom side there. You can just remove 1 screw and remove the entire bottom section. And you also have a little bit of a dust filter here as well. You can also move these entire bars here, both on the top and on the bottom here. You can see it's just mounted with screws. I'm not going to do that just yet. I hope I can just get it built the way it is right now. Get my motherboard in there, maybe squeeze my GPU in there. But I will do that, of course, in a different video. And I definitely do see great potential with this case here. It is among the bigger Mini ITX cases. It is just below the 20-liter volume, but it is definitely small enough for the kind of stuff that I want to use, and it's not too cramped in here, so you can still have plenty of fans to bring cold air into the system. And I am looking forward to building in this little Mini ITX case. Last thing I want to check out in this video here, of course, is the accessories box and see what kind of stuff we actually get included. I suspect we do have a 120mm fan, but we'll just have a closer look here. And yeah, surprise, surprise, we do have 120mm fan here included. So if we want to use the pre-supplied fans from CoolerMaster, you can do so. And this is of course the mounting stuff I was talking about. It's not screw, it's just this metal tab there that you kind of need to squeeze into those rubber gaskets there in the top. If you want to mount them in the top side like so, you kind of just squeeze them in. And actually kind of a nice system, but again, we kind of limit you a little bit to what kind of fans you can mount on there. You cannot mount smaller fans or slimmer fans than this ones here. You need to have 25mm fans installed. You cannot mount radiators and such so on here. So it limits a little bit what you can do, but it's actually quite a nice little system. So you get 120mm fan with the non-P variant. The P variant, you do get 220mm fans included. But in this one, of course, you do get the 92mm fan and no riser cable. So not really the best trade-off there. I would rather get the riser cable and two 120mm fans. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't really available in my country. Only really on Amazon. Other than that, we do get a lot of screws, a lot of rubber gaskets there for mounting hard drives and SSD drives to the front. And inside the case, more of these long screws here, so you can mount a second fan. And multiple mounting options for SSD and hard drives to be mounted inside this case. So yeah, everything pretty much you need to get up and running, including screws for the motherboard, is included in this kit here. You also get a fan splitter cable, so you can actually mount 3 fans to one fan header on the motherboard. Actually quite a nice little addition if you don't have something like I have here, a proper fan splitter where you can also supply power. Nice thing to do if you have a lot of fans, and my motherboard only have one fan header besides the CPU fan, so definitely need some kind of a splitter cable if I want to connect more than of course one case fans, which is definitely what I plan to do. So yeah, nice little addition here. I like that they have included something like this. And we also get a little bracket here. This is if you want to mount this GPU in the, what is a vertical orientation, you can kind of break the backside of the case here, remove this part and remove this part up here, and then you can kind of screw this one here in place. What is it? The other way around, of course. You mount this like so, and then you can screw your graphics card into this one here. But I don't plan to do that with this case here, but if you want, you can still do it. If you get the non-P variant, you just need to supply your own riser cable. And in the bottom of the box here, we do have another, of course, protector there for the fan. I kind of like to include this one here. Very useful, especially in a small form factor build where you have a lot of cables sticking out and not a lot of room. It is nice to be able to organize the cables, not only with zip ties, but also you can kind of protect the fan a little bit from cables there. You get 10 zip ties included, so should be plenty for any kind of build pretty much. And yeah, that's all you get in the package with this nice little small form factor case. I'm definitely looking forward to building in this one here. It should be a little easier than other Mini ITX cases I've built in previously, because you do have a little bit more room without it being too much, in my personal opinion. But this is just an unboxing and first look at this case. I will of course do a build in this one, and of course you can go to my YouTube channel and find that if you are interested. But that's pretty much it for this video. I hope to see you again in a future one. Until then, take care.